Hi there everybody, my name is Ali and today I will be going to do task 4 of TryHackMe-Nahamstore, which will be regarding cross-site scripting, and I will be going to show all techniques on how to find cross-site scripting vulnerabilities, how to find hidden parameters using an amazing tool called Arjun. Then I will show you how to find cross-site scripting manually and using automation as well. And in the automation part, we will be using two tools, Dalfox and XSStrike. So that being said, let's jump in. I already have started my machine and my IP address is 10.10.186.214. So now let's move on to task 4, which is cross-site scripting, and I already have done recon part right here before, but I have not solved that question into my previous videos, and hopefully I will solve those because that question will be solved after task 9 I believe, or task 10. So right now I will directly move on to task 4, which is cross-site scripting. Now I will not be going to show you how to solve these questions, but I will show you on my own methodology, and I will show you my methodology which you can also see, and you can continue on your targets on HackerOne and Buckroute. So the very first thing from my previous videos, if I see the ls, we can see I am having alive subdomains, and I already have done all of these things in my previous videos. In my recon videos, I did a lot of recon using different tools like sublister and other things, and I was able to find these subdomains. Now for cross-site scripting, we need to find some sort of input parameters where we can input something, and then the browser should render that input and give us the result back. So this is called cross-site scripting. So what if we do something like malicious JavaScript code into any input parameter like search functionality onto any e-commerce website? We paste our script tag, then we put in an alert function, and then if the browser rendered that back to us, then that website is vulnerable to cross-site scripting. And hopefully I will show you each and everything right now. So what I will do right now is I will see all of these subdomains one by one and see which ones are interesting. So I will open a new tab, paste the first one, and let's see. And this one doesn't look interesting to me. The only thing which I can try to do is, which is I don't think so might work or not, is I will add an cross-site scripting payload after a slash. So I will do script alert, and let's say alert of like XSS, and then I will close the script tag. So anything in between the script tag will get rendered if it is vulnerable to cross-site scripting. So if I hit enter, and it says unknown endpoint or method requested. So right now I am having only one error message and nothing else. So this one doesn't look interesting to me because I need to find some sort of hidden parameters or some input parameters where I can enter something. So let's move on to the second one, which is marketing.nahamstore.thm. So this one again doesn't look interesting. I cannot see anything, but I am having two buttons right here. Let's click any one of these. And this one redirects me to another page, which is Nahamstore pre-opening interest, and I am having some two input parameters, your name and email address, and then a sign up option. And in the URL I can also see some strange string, and it seems to me like MD5, but I don't know what it is, but that's fine as well. So let's move on to another subdomain. We will open all of the subdomain one by one and then move on to cross-site scripting. So let's see this one. And this one looks very interesting because we are having a search functionality here. Then I am having a login page, register page, returns page, and there is a cart as well. So it looks like to me that this is a shopping website, and I'm having two items as well. This one is the first one, which is sticker pack, which is $15, which this one is the second one, hoodie plus tee, $25. So this one looks extremely interesting, and I believe a lot of cross-site scripting vulnerabilities will be right here. Let's move on to the other ones, shop.nahamstore.thm. And this one is again the same page, so I will close this one. And finally the last one, which we found in my previous video, and this is 403 forbidden. So normally we are having three pages. The first one is marketing, the second one is again marketing, but again this one is another page, and the third one is shop.nahamstore or simple nahamstore.thm. Okay, so Now one more thing, that if you don't want, because if you are having a lot of subdomains, let's say you are having 1000 subdomains, so in my previous videos I have shown you how to take screenshots of all of these subdomains using Aquatone. So I would highly recommend that you should use Aquatone and watch the screenshots. The ones which are interesting to you, just go to Google and search for those and try testing out there. So now I have found the interesting ones manually. I can also use Aquatone, but right now these were only 5, so that's why I found manually. So first thing first, this was the first one. So the very first thing, again, this was having nothing where I can enter anything. So I clicked on this link, and in this link I always see username, your name and email address. So first of all, let's try anything random. So I will add test123 email test@test.com, and let's see what happens. So sign up and nothing happens. So let's try one more time. Test@test.com. Let me see if this MD5 changes or it also remains the same. So if I hit enter, and I believe that MD5 hash also remains the same. So I believe this is not doing anything. I can also try to enter script alert and close the script tag, but if it's not doing anything, 100% chances are that it will never work. So sign up, please enter an email address. Let's see if I can enter test@test.com. Sign up, please enter an email address. Let's remove our payload from here, sign up, and nothing happens. So that's fine. Now whenever I am going for testing these sort of websites and I see something strange sort of hash like this, I always change the last letter of this hash. So might be the last letter is C in my case. If I change this C to, let's say, B or D or E or A, anything, I might get anything useful. So I always like to look for error messages, because if it is not showing you a proper error message, chances are that that might be a vulnerable thing. So if I do remove the C from here, if I add A, hit enter, and I got an error message right here, campaign not found. So but right here in the URL you can see I got a hidden parameter as well, which is called error. So I got a parameter, and this one is really interesting. Let's see if I can do anything interesting right here. So the very basic payload for cross-site scripting, again, script alert, and I will add a alert function of 1, and then I will close the script tag. So this is a very basic JavaScript code. What it will do is it will only add an alert of 1. So if it is vulnerable to cross-site scripting, I will see a pop-up, and the pop-up will say only 1. So if I hit enter now, and right away you can see I got a pop-up and I am having 1. So this is vulnerable to cross-site scripting. And what an attacker can do, can do a lot of malicious thing. He can take over cookies of any other user. He can do account takeover. Then he can also go for cross-site request forgery and a lot of vulnerabilities as well. So this was the first place where we directly found cross-site scripting vulnerability, and this was fairly simple. Now you will be hoping that, let's say, if we were not able to find this error message, so what should we do? So there is an amazing tool called Arjun, and if I copy the subdomain from here, if I come back to my terminal, and if I show you first of all on GitHub, Arjun, it is also present on GitHub as well, and it is also present in the app repository of Kali Linux or any Debian based operating system. So right here what it will do is it will, if I zoom this out, yes, so Arjun parameter discovery suite, so it finds hidden parameters like this. So let's see how it works actually. So it supports get post.json, post.xml as well, and we need to install it using pip3 install Arjun. We can also simply do apt install Arjun. So if I do apt install Arjun, and it will start installing Arjun onto my Kali machine. Okay, so Arjun is installed now. So if I do Arjun right here, and if I see the help menu for this one, I will see a lot of things right here. So Now the one which I want is right now URL, which is for dash u. So let's apply dash u as only. So I will do Arjun dash u for URL, and I will paste the URL in, and let's hit enter, and let's see whether it finds that hidden parameter which was error or not. So let's see. Now it can take some time, but let's see if it works or not. So right away you can see I got a hidden parameter which is called error. So if you were not able to see the error message in that way by just changing that MD5 hash, you can use these sort of tools called Arjun and find these hidden parameters, and it is very important because there are a lot of hidden parameters which are available on a lot of websites, definitely on live programs on HackerOne and Bugcrowd, and you can find those hidden parameters, and 50% they are very vulnerable to cross-site scripting and SQL injection and a lot of vulnerabilities. So highly recommend that you should use Arjun. Okay, so we found our first cross-site scripting vulnerability, and that was fairly simple, that we only found an error parameter and we did this one. Now I will show you the manual technique as well, and I will show you the automation technique as well. So right here we found this manually, but sometimes the filters are being going on, web application firewalls are working, so we might be possible that this script tag might not be available to here, or it might be filtered properly, but there are some other ones which might not get filtered. So what we can do right here, we can go for automation. So what we can do is we can simply copy the URL with the parameter, and the first tool which I will be going to use will be Dalfox. So if I show you Dalfox on GitHub, let me change my theme to light. So the first one, it is an open source cross-site scripting scanning tool, and it looks for cross-site scripting vulnerabilities based upon the reflection in the page source and in the page source, I believe, right? So if I scroll down, there are a lot of features as well: XSS scanning, HTTP, and if you need to install, you can install it using Go, and then there are some dependencies, I believe, for this one, or no, yeah, only Go should be installed on your Kali system. I already have installed it, so let's see how to use this one. So Dalfox -h for help to see how to use this one, and I believe I will need a URL. So for URL right here, I need to specify URL only. So let's specify only URL. So I will do Dalfox, I will specify URL, and then I will paste in the URL which I want to go. So I will copy the URL from here and paste that URL here, and I believe I should add in single quotation because of that question mark. Hit enter, and now let's see if it finds something or not. So it says found one testing point in dictionary based parameter mining, and right away you can see that right here I got in red color capital V, and it says triggered XSS payload found DOM object, and the payload which it was able to trigger is this one, and again in the error parameter. So this is the complete link to, if we see this complete link, let's come to our browser, open a new tab, paste that complete link, hit enter, and right away you can see this is called automation. We don't need to take care about the payload, but we are able to have a pop-up. So this is called reflected cross-site scripting. There are three types of cross-site scripting: reflected, stored, and DOM based. So in this video, hopefully we will see reflected and stored. So let's move on. So we found first XSS vulnerability. Let's move on and let's see what else we got. So on this page, I cannot see anything. Let's click on this second one. Yeah, so nothing here. This form is totally not working. I don't know why. So let's close this one. And let's close this one now as well, and let's focus on our main page, which will be this one, because this is having a lot of things. The very first thing which I can see right here is the search box. So whenever I see search box, I always try a lot of things right here. So first thing first, I will say test 1 2 3, hit enter, and it says search question mark q equals to test123. So again I got another parameter which is called q, and it is having a value of test123. So again what I can try here is, and you can see right here I am having my test123 reflected as back. So now let's try one more thing, which is again testing out our payload. So I will do script alert and I will do 1, and then I will again close the script tag, which is our very basic payload. So hit enter, and right away you can see this time I did not got a pop-up, so something strange is going on. So script alert 1 and then closing tag of script. So now I need to figure out what's going wrong, where my this thing is going on. So I will open my control shift I forgot the name. I believe it is developer tools in Firefox, I don't know, but I will just open the developer tools and I will search here for the one thing which I entered. So let's try with something different. So I know my payload is not working, but let's see how to make it work. So I will do test123 again. I will come into my developer tools. I will say test123, hit enter, and right here I can see that my test123 is in HTML tag which is called h3. So let's see if anywhere I find my another one. Yes, it is highlighted in blue, and if I zoom this out, right here in my variable search equals to test123. So I am having my test123 reflected in two places. One of them is h3 tag, which is heading tag in HTML. The other one is in JavaScript code, and always JavaScript code is in script tag, and there is a variable which is being created, variable search, and my test123 is in single quotations and it is ended by a semicolon. So I need to figure out how I should bypass this one so that my malicious payload gets executed. So what if I add the last single quotation and semicolon right in the beginning of before t. So what it will do is it will close out the variable search parameter. So let's try to do that one. So I will simply do single quotation and semicolon and hit enter, and let's see what happens now. So I will search for test123 into my developer tools one more time, and yes, so right here now you can see my variable search equals to single quotation semicolon. So this is successfully completed. After that my test123 is there, and then there is again a single quotation and semicolon. So the last single quotation and semicolon, I don't care about that one, but my test123 is successfully out of these single quotations. And if I do now script alert, I think so I should get an pop-up. So I will do now script alert and let's do 1 and then close the script tag. So hit enter now, and again I didn't got a pop-up. So let's see what happens now. So I will search for alert and let's see our variable search. So variable search equals to single quotation and semicolon, and here you can see now there is a filter being going on, and it is ampersand less than sign. So my less than sign is converted into ampersand lt, then there is a semicolon, then script, then ampersand gt, which is greater than sign. So now the filter is being going on, so I cannot use this script tag. But the main thing which I noticed now is that I am already in a script tag. So you can see right here I am already in a script tag, so no need to add a script tag because we are in a JavaScript code. So in JavaScript code is already in script tag, so why I am specifying script tag 2 times? So I need to remove script tag and only alert 1 should work, and I should get a pop-up now. So if I hit enter now, I didn't get alert again. Let's see what happens now. So let's see, variable search equals to single quotation, and nothing is getting filtered out. So I believe I have successfully escaped this thing alert 1. And now I think so the last single quotation and semicolon is causing some problems for me. So I need to, I believe, comment that out. So in JavaScript we comment out with, I believe, two forward slashes like this. I don't know, but let's try. So hit enter now, and here you go. So now I have successfully got an XSS alert of 1 and my malicious payload does work for me. So if I click on OK, and now let's see what happens now into our DOM and in this code. So right here you can see now single quotations properly started and closed, then a semicolon, absolutely fine, then our malicious payload which is alert1, and then two forward slashes which will comment the other stuff. So in this way we can do our manual things and try to go on. Now the very strange thing which I will show you, I believe the automation will never ever be able to find this sort of cross-site scripting vulnerability. So let's try it using Dalfox. So I will come back here, I will do Dalfox URL, paste the URL in, and let's add a single quotation, and let's see if it finds or not. So it has successfully found that there are two places where our input is getting reflected. One of them is in h3 tag, and we didn't try h3 because I think so this might not be vulnerable, but we tried the variable search which was in JavaScript code, and we were successfully able to bypass that one, and we got a pop-up. So let's see if automation does work in this case or no. And right away you can see now I ran an automation tool and it was not able to find that vulnerability, whereas I did all of the thing manually right here in front of you, and I was able to successfully got an alert using this payload which is single quotation semicolon alert1 and two forward slashes. So that's why it is very important that in bug bounties never ever depend upon automation tools. Always try to do a lot of things manually, try to understand the application, try to understand what's going on, and then try to exploit it. So let's you see another tool which is an again automation called XSStrike. So let me show you that one on GitHub. So XSStrike GitHub, and this one most advanced XSS scanner. So let's see if it finds that one or not. So let's see how to download this one. I believe we need to completely git clone all of that directory, or I do have the release here as well, but I already have git clone into my op directory. So I will navigate into op directory and I will navigate into XSStrike. So if I do ls, this will be the complete things, and we need to do python 3 XSStrike to see the help menu. And again I will be looking for URL. So for URL I need to specify -u. So what I will do now is I will simply do python 3 XSStrike -u for URL, and let's come back and I will copy the complete same thing including the parameter, paste here in single quotations and hit enter, and let's see this tool as well. So this one is again very powerful, but let's see if it finds the same vulnerability here or not. So the one which will be having efficiency of 100 will be the one which will work for us. So let's see if we find something or not. And right here you can see now XSStrike is still running and I am having a hit of 180 and almost 200 payloads, but still I am not able to get a proper payload which can give me a pop-up. So I will press Ctrl C right here, and that's why we should never rely on automation tools. We saw all of the tools, we saw everything, but I was not able to see anything. So now I will directly navigate into my nahamstore directory and let's continue. So now this was another one. So we found two XSS vulnerabilities. Both of them were reflected XSS. So let's move on to other ones. So queue parameter is also vulnerable to XSS. So let's come back here and let's go to the main page and let's try to log in or register. So first of all, I will try register, and it requires an email address. So I will do test@test.com, and then in password, let's enter test123. So register, and I have successfully registered, and I cannot see my email address being reflected back to me or any part of email. So for example, there are some e-commerce websites which reflect the username when you register onto the page, so we can try for reflected cross-site scripting there. So while entering an email address, we can try to add a h2 heading of HTML tag and or something like cross-site scripting payload. So we can try for cross-site scripting there as well, but right now my username or email is not reflecting, so that's why I will not try it right there, and I am directly logged in. I don't need to log in, simply registering logged me in. Okay, so the next thing, let's see these all of the items. So let's see sticker pack. Let's click on view, and right away after seeing the view part, we can see I again got an parameter called id, and it is being assigned a value of 2. So let's try again the very basic thing. I will do test123 right here to see if something reflects back, and it says unknown column test123 in where clause. So it says where clause, so I think so this is vulnerable to SQL injection. So I will not show you, I will make another video for SQL injection soon as well onto this website. So right now let's come back, and right now id parameter does not seems to me vulnerable to cross-site scripting. Let's see using automation. So I will quickly do Dalfox url, paste the url in, hit enter, and let's see if I find something here or not. And that's why automation is very important. And again, I can see some payloads in red color, which is v, which means triggered that payload. And this is a very strange payload. It is giving me discount parameter, and I cannot see any discount parameter right here. Then name parameter, and I believe it is also searching for hidden parameters as well, because I specified only id parameter. Let's see. So yes, right here triggered XSS payload on id parameter, which is this one. So let's copy this payload and let's come to our site, and I will remove 2 from here, paste that payload, hit enter, and here you go, I got an XSS right here as well. So that's where automation comes into play. By doing manual stuff, I thought that it was vulnerable to SQL injection, and right here it is vulnerable to SQL injection. It says you have an error in your SQL syntax, so definitely vulnerable to SQL injection, but it is also vulnerable to cross-site scripting. So I was totally unaware of that one. So let's come back, and there is another functionality of discount code. So let's try test123 in discount code, click on add to basket, and let's see what happens. So it says added equals to 1. We can also test this one. So test123, we always need to test everything, and nothing happens. If I view the page source, and if I search for control F, test123, no, it is not reflecting back. So close this one, control shift I, developer tools, test123, not reflecting back, so we cannot test for cross-site scripting vulnerability. Then I will go for, let's say, let's go to cart. So it was added into cart, and it says please choose an address in your address book to send to that address. So we need to add an address. So let's click on add address, and again I can also try for like heading tag. So I will do h1, or let's do u for underline, and I will do test123, because if my test123 gets underlined, it will be vulnerable to cross-site scripting. So I will do u here as well, test123, and again the same thing everywhere. So u, state and country u, and zip code 123456. So add address, and let's see. Yes, right here you can see Mr. U test123, U test123. So I believe some filter is going on. So if I click on this one, and again U123, it does not get underlined, so might not be vulnerable to cross-site scripting. Then we need to do card number. So I will do 1234, 1234, 1234, and 1234. make payment, and in the URL again I cannot see anything interesting, and right here again nothing. Order number 4, order ID, order date, and one thing which looks interesting to me is user agent. So the user agent is one thing which is controllable by us, so I can probably think for stored cross-site scripting right here. Why stored cross-site scripting? Because if I add a malicious payload into my user agent, I will, and that payload will get stored onto the server and it might show us something. So let's try using this. So for this purpose I will use burp suite because it makes it a little bit easier. So now I will turn my burp suite on. I will come here, come to my proxy tab. First of all, I will turn my intercept off and I will again go to my home page, try to buy a hoodie. So I will go here, I will add this to basket, go to my cart, and after going to cart, I will add, or I will send this to address, and before entering card number I will turn my intercept on. So I need to intercept this request 1234 1234 1234 and 1234. Make a payment. My request is intercepted. Address underscore ID is one parameter, card underscore number is another parameter. We can send this request to repeater and change a lot of things, but right now I am interested in user agent because I saw user agent being reflected back to me. So I will simply do script alert of, let's say, stored cross-site scripting, so XSS, and then I will close the script tag. So script right here, and looks fine to me. Let's forward the request, come back here. I got another request and I think so I should change this user agent as well, but let's see without this one. So I'll forward again, come back here, and here you go. So this was, I believe, stored cross-site scripting because this got onto the server and then we saw this on some other page. So this is user agent. So now we found almost 3 vulnerabilities or 4 vulnerabilities of cross-site scripting. 3 of them were reflected and 1 of them was stored. So let's analyze this website much more. So there is an return page as well. So let's see what is on return page. So on return page I can see again a lot of things. So it says you need to return your items, order number. So let's add a order number of 1. Please choose an option. The option, let's say wrong size, and let's say test 123 again. So create a return and let's see what happens. Again I got order number 1, wrong size, and test 123 reflected back to me. I got another authentication parameter as well, and it is again having a hash. First thing first, I will remove this one and try to add a basic payload, which is script and alert 1 on cross-site scripting. So as scripts, hit enter, and let's see. Okay, so come back here. So let's try one more time. Script alert 1 and close the script tag. Hit enter now, and here you go. So I got this one again, and authentication parameter is also vulnerable to cross-site scripting. So we found 4 reflected cross-site scripting and the other one. So let's come back to return page as well. I saw a text box as well. So let's see if we can bypass that one. So 1 test 123 wrong damaged goods, create a return, and control shift I, and I will search for where is my test 123. So test 123, and my test 123 is getting reflected in text area. So what if I close text area before test 123? So this will get closed in HTML, and then the last text area, that's fine, we don't need to care about that one, and then whatever will be in between, it might get executed. So let's try to see this one. So I will do, I believe I need to do that again. So return page, order number 1, wrong size, and this time I will do text area, and I will close this one because the opening one is fine. We need to close that one, and then I will do test 123, create a return. Okay, so right away you can see that now I am out of the text area, so it definitely works. So if I control shift I onto my keyboard and I will search for test123, and now you can see I have successfully bypassed text area tag, and now whatever I will do right here, it will definitely work. So if I come back to my home return page again, order number 1, wrong size, and if I do text area, and if I now add a malicious script like script alert 1, and I will do closing script tag again, create a return, and definitely I should get a pop-up, and right here I am having a pop-up. So this was another reflected cross-site scripting, and let's move on. So I think so I have done everything. Let's see if something is left here or not. So account, let's see orders. So nothing right here. Let's click on this one, order number 5, stored cross-site scripting. Let's go to cart. Your shopping basket is empty. Okay, so one more thing which I like to do is I like to see the error message, as I told you in the beginning. So I will add anything random right here, very strange thing, and let's see what error it gives. I always like to do this one because sometimes there is a reverse proxy running as well. So in the front end we see Apache, and in the back end there might be like Tomcat running. So two web servers might be running, and I can see a lot of information right here as well. So the error message which I can see is page not found. Let's see the page source, and let's see where page not found is getting up. Page not found. So the first one is in the title, and the second one I believe in h1, and right here whatever I am entering is in getting reflected in paragraph tag. So if you are not familiar with HTML, paragraph tag is simply paragraph. You can just simply write a simple text. So right here this is a very simple text, so it is in a paragraph tag. So what if I simply do cross-site scripting payload here? So script alert 1 and then closing script tag, hit enter, and again you can see now my payload gets executed, rendered by the browser, and I got an alert. So if I view the page source, and let's see what happened actually. So right here in that h1 I am having page not found, and in paragraph I am having sorry we couldn't find script alert, and then my payload, and that gets executed. So this one again getting an error messages and trying to see a lot of things definitely works. And I believe this was it. Let's see if we can find anything else or not. So home page, then let's see this one, and I am having a discount functionality here. So let's see what happens when I add a discount. So add to basket, I don't see anything. Let's use burp suite real quick. So if I see my http history, and if I see this one or this one or this one, where is my, I turned my burp suite off. Let's turn my burp suite on again. Discount code AAAA, add to basket, and let's see what happens now. So this one, okay, so I am having one more parameter which is called discount, and this might be a hidden parameter because I didn't saw it in the URL. So let's try manually. So if I do ampersand discount equals to any cross-site scripting payload. So if I do script alert, again the same payload script, hit enter, and right here I can see that my script alert 1 is getting here. So let's view the page source, control shift I, developer tools, and I will search for alert, and let me zoom this out. And I cannot see alert my here. So let's add anything strange in discount code. So test123, where my test123 is getting back. So test 1 2 3, hit enter. Okay, so it is getting back into input parameter as well. Let's see, there any other thing? No. So right here in value parameter, my test 1 2 3 is reflecting back to me. So what I can do now is I need to escape this value parameter. So let's first of all add a double quotation right here, hit enter. So test 1 2 3, hit enter right here, and now I successfully bypassed my payload right here. So now what I can do is I can try to go something malicious. So if I do script, because I am out of now value tag, so if I do script alert 1, and if I do script, hit enter, let's see if it works. No. If I do alert again, okay, so now it says script alert. So my greater than and less than brackets are getting filtered out. Let's try to go for automation right here, because it seems to me a little bit difficult for. So we already scanned again this one, and it also finds some hidden parameters as well. And the first one which it was able to find was discount parameter, and he tried this payload. So let's try this one. On pointer interrupt is equal to confirm, and this one looks quite strange. Let's see other one. This is a name parameter, I believe. So again, this one is id parameter. So it find 3 parameters. One of them was name, id, and discount. So let's see. So nothing right here. Let's try id equals to 2 ampersand, discount equals to, let's say, a, and I will add single quotation, hit enter. It says found 4 testing point in DOM base. So let's see what it gives us. And again I got a hit. This one is discount parameter. So let's see. So on touch move, so if I touch this one, nothing happens. I added double quotation, so let's try with one double quotation. So again nothing happens. So I can try for different payloads. So if I do like on mouse over equals to alert of 1, will this work? Let's hit enter, and let's hover the mouse. No. Let's see some other payloads. And no other payload, I believe. So this might be vulnerable to cross-site scripting, but the payload is not working for me right here. Let's see, because it is only doing double quotation in the beginning and then the payload. So let's go and try some other payload. So if I go to payload all the things, XSS payloads, let me turn my burp suite off. And now I will see for some other payloads which might work from here. So let's see, on pointer over alert 45, or okay, let's try this one then. On pointer over alert 45. So I will paste that payload here. and hit enter. So okay, so now you can see now different payload does work here. So I was stuck here right now, so on getting onto the payload all the things, and automation also didn't work, but from automation I figured out that we need to add only double quotation in the beginning, and we were able to escape that value tag, and now on pointer over payload does work, and when I hover over pointer to this one, I got an alert of 45. So in this way, we need to do some more enumeration manually as well. We need to go to Google, we need to find out some other payloads and do a lot of things. So in this way, it does work. So I believe this was it for this video. Let's come back to our try hack me room and let's see whether we've left anything or not. So the first thing, enter an URL including parameters of an endpoint that is vulnerable to XSS. So URL including parameter of an endpoint that is vulnerable to cross-site scripting. I believe that might be the error. So that was marketing.nahamstore.thm. I don't know if I do go to a campaign and change the anything here, I got this one. So let's try, will this work? So paste that URL in, submit. And yes, it does work. So what HTTP header can we use to create a stored XSS? So in this case, that might be user agent. Okay, what HTML tag needs to escape on the product page to get XSS to work? So product page, I believe, let's see what was that one. So this one is product page. So I'm having discount parameter that was reflected in value input parameter. So is it input? Let's see, input, no. So I believe there was another parameter, hidden parameter called name. So if I check the stock, how that name parameter will come. So if let's move on to product page, product not found. Let's click on this one. Okay, so when I clicked an image, I got name equals to hoodie plus this thing. So okay, so let's try it for test 1 2 3 in the name. Let's see where it is reflected back. So if I view the page source or view control shift I, so search for test 1 2 3, it is reflected in title. So somewhere else, no, only title. So let's try to bypass title. So what I will do is I will simply do /title in the beginning of the payload, hit enter, and let's see what happens. So test 1 2 3, and now you can see I successfully able to bypass the title tag, and now I am in the body parameter. So now if I simply remove test 1 2 3 from here, add a XSS payload script alert 1, and then closing tag script, and here you go. So I successfully able to bypass title tag. So I believe this will be title. Yes, what JavaScript variable needs to be escaped? So I know that JavaScript variable was search. What hidden parameter can be found on the shop homepage? So it was queue parameter, where my automation also didn't work. So we need to find it manually. So what HTML tag needs to be escaped on the return page to get XSS to work? So on the return page, there was a text box which was in the text area. So this one will work. What is the value of h1 tag of the page that uses the requested URL to create an XSS? So what is the value of h1 tag? Okay, so on h1 we saw page not found. When we tried to get an error message to page was not found was showing us in h1, and then we, instead of that thing, we added a payload and it worked. So what other hidden parameter can be found on shop which can introduce an XSS vulnerability? And the hidden parameter which we were able to find using burp suite, it was discount. So this was it, I believe, and we successfully did all of the things as well, manually as well, automation as well, Dalfox, XSStrike. But again, we saw that using automation sometimes doesn't work, but manual things does work always. So that's why I would highly recommend you that you should use manual techniques. You can use automation as well, but manually also does work as well. So that was it for this video, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Take care, bye.